Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. In Amman, in Jordan, you have an amazing mix of people from different countries in the Middle East. Amman, the capital of Jordan, was actually, biblically, it was known as Philadelphia. In New Testament times, it was part of the Decapolis region that's referred to in the New Testament, the 10 cities, a Gentile area that was on the other side of the Sea of Galilee from Capernaum and places like that. And in Amman, and I've visited Amman just once, I've had the privilege of preaching in churches there, but in Amman, in Jordan, a huge percentage of the population are refugees. Jordan's entire population, I mean, it's just over 25% of the population of Jordan is refugees. And many of them are from Syria now and Iraq. And there is a church in Amman, St. Joseph's Chaldean Catholic Church in Jordan, in Amman, which is known as the Pizza Church. And the reason is because if you go to worship in that church, you will smell pizza. You will have it. There will be a glorious smell of pizzas cooking because in the basement of the church, there is a pizzeria. Now, you might say, well, there's nothing unusual about that. You know, there's churches rent out bits of their premises all the time. But no, the church runs the pizzeria. Again, you might say, well, nothing unusual in that. There's lots of churches run coffee shops and outreaches with little cafes, restaurants. So the church running a pizzeria in its basement, isn't that unusual? Why on earth would you take up a Take 5 talking about it? Well, the reason is because this pizzeria, the Mar Youssef Pizza, doesn't exist for the customers. It exists for the staff. Now, the customers enjoy it. The customers come and enjoy the pizza, and the pizza is very good. In fact, they've had an international aid agency has flown top Italian chefs into Jordan to teach the Mar Youssef Pizzeria how to make pizza that is just spot on in the Sicilian method. Now, again, you might say, well, why on earth would an international aid organization train people in a pizzeria? And the key is this. We said already that the pizzeria exists for the staff, not for the customers. Well, the customers love going there and love the pizza. The idea is this, that there are so many refugees from Syria and from Iraq that are going to be moving on to other countries. Jordan is often a stepping stone that they pass through because they obviously want to go somewhere where there's maybe a bit of more opportunity for them to rebuild their lives and make a living for themselves and their families. And so what the staff are doing, the staff in the Mar Youssef Pizza in the basement of St. Joseph's Church are being trained specifically so they can then start restaurants themselves or work in restaurants themselves in other countries that they will then go on to as refugees. And so the whole restaurant, that's why I said it doesn't exist to make money. It doesn't exist to please the customers. It exists to train up the staff in the best possible way that will equip them in their futures for wherever they are going to go. That's just one example of the amazing ways in which local churches in the Middle East are catering to refugees. You know, very often I hear people say, well, why are we receiving all these refugees in the Western world? Why don't countries in the Middle East look after them? And the answer is that they do. Countries like Jordan devote many, many more times as a percentage of their GDP, many, many more times resources into helping refugees than any country in the Western world. They receive, in proportion to their population, they receive many more refugees, multiple times more refugees than any country in the Western world. And Christians are a part of this, helping refugees, feeding them, not only feeding them, but enabling them to gather the skills and the abilities to be able to move on and feed themselves. You know, there's an old saying that says, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man how to catch fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And the St. Joseph's Church in Amman, Jordan, has certainly proved to be an embodiment of that principle as they equip so many refugees for a better life elsewhere. We all do what we can to bless others. Sometimes our resources are limited. And yet God gives ingenuity. God gives great ideas, not just good ideas, not just great ideas. God gives God ideas to Christians that will truly set themselves to help those that are suffering and those that are in need of our help. And I pray that today God will direct us to those people who need our help and will give us the wisdom and the Holy Ghost inspiration to know how best to reach out to them with the love of Jesus Christ. May God bless you today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.